Guys. Let's do a few more minutes, and I got to get out of here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I just wanted to talk about this, man, because we had passing of Butch Reed and stuff, and I was kind of looking at the first Royal Rumble. You was the first one to throw him out.
Gotta do something right.
And he was the first one to get eliminated.
Oh wow! I love Butch, man.
Right. How about any good memories? You know what I mean, with Butch, man, and RP? We done lost so many wrestlers.
Prince, you're friends with his son, are you not?
Yeah, well, no, I'm friends with his nephew. It's real close nephew, Marcus Reed. He always rode with him. Like there was a little, a dope memory. You know what I mean? And how was it?
Man. Butch had this old car that he loved, and he drove out on every road trip in Mid-South. And there was a young kid there. I can't remember his name now. Oh my God, he's dead too. Blonde hair, Nature Boy, Buddy Landell.
Landell,
Buddy Landell.
Yep, Buddy Landell.
Buddy Landell was following him. Well, if you know Buddy Landell, he'll make a whole trip and he'll keep a comb in his hand.
Right.
Constantly flipping that hair. Just right.
Right.
They went through a small town in Louisiana called Bunkie, and Butch stopped at the red light. Buddy didn't stop. He plowed right into his ass, man, because he was combing his hair, man.
Wow.
And Butch Reed can out-cuss any human being. He was the cussingest son of a gun on the planet, man. I mean,
yeah, he is.
He might say 20 words, and you can't say none of them on the air, That's just the way Butch rolled, though. I loved him, and it was a pleasure working with him. I worked with him in Florida before we went to WWF. Worked with him in Mid-South a little bit, too.
Right, because I was about to say, y'all did hell of a good promos. Y'all was, like, one of the best people, like, to do promos. And you help a lot of people with their promos, like, even with The Undertaker. You know what I mean? He always, gives you flowers for you doing him, helping him.
Yeah.
We create, create his character.
Well, I feel like as a wrestler, it's my duty and my honor to help those coming up.
Thanks.
I'm not going to be selfish from what I've learned.
Right.
The problem today is the young guys not many of them will ask you anything. They feel like they know everything already. And they don't know doodly jack shit. And it's a shame.
I wanted to just ask you to check in on your health. Can you tell us about your health and when you're back to AEW?
My health is great. I'm off the oxygen.
Yeah.
As you see. I'm off of it. I've been off of it now for about a month. Everything's rolling good, man. I feel great. I do have a little tweak in my shoulder that I have an MRI done this evening. And check it out. I'm afraid that it might be the rotator cuff, though. So we'll see. Yeah, man. I went up to fucking Canada, man, and I froze my ass off.
What was it like working with Stu Hart?
Oh, it was a fucking treat, man. Are you kidding me?
What?
It was a zoo.
Did he get you in any of those classic holds?
No, he didn't. But he tried. But I'm a snake and I got away.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let him get his hands on me, man.
Right. Oh, dang.
I ain't a fucking idiot.
He had a whole bunch
I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid.
That's funny.
I have a stat here. 1986, your fight against Hogan was canceled because too many fans were cheering for you. Is that true?
Yeah, well, matches, but the fans were more than 50% in my favor. And that was the end of it. Vince couldn't have that because that screwed with the marketing.
And then you DDT'd him in an interview, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, the fans chanted DDT.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. You cost me about $5 million.
Yeah, I know. You were supposed to go on a run and feud with Hogan.
Yeah,
But
they canceled it.
Yeah, jeez.
And you also did you really when you first started like was that like your first taping was at Mid South Wrestling? Because I had a buddy that used to wrestle with you too named Butch Reed.
Yeah, I know Butch real well, man.
Right. I know Butch. How was it like working with Hacksaw Butch Reed?
Oh, he was fun, man. He was fun, except when he went through that Jerry curl bullshit, man. He greased up that hair.
Oh yeah,
and his finish was that gorilla slam.
yeah, the Gorilla Slam. Yep.
And it was hard as hell to get a hold of his shoulders because all that grease was coming off of him, man.
Right.
That shit burned too, man. It get in your eyes. It burned like hell, man. We used to cuss his
Like
ass.
hell. Oh
We
man,
cussed his
how was
ass.
it working like in Mid South? Because you pretty much wrestled with like a lot of legends over there. Ted DiBiase. Did all of them come in Mid South Wrestling at that time, same as you?
Yeah, man. We all kind of grew up together, man. Basically, you know, I'd see Teddy from time to time. We'd both go in and out of Mid South. There were several guys that came through there. You know, Hacksaw, Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
You had Butch Reed, Freebirds. The Freebirds came through there. There were other guys too, man. I just can't think of them right now. You know, a lot of good talent. A lot of people learned a lot in Mid South.
Yeah.
And you had to learn it because if you didn't learn it, Bill Watts would fire your ass.
Yeah, they said Bill Watts was harsh.
He's a sorry motherfucker. That's what he was.
The
That's the nicest thing I can say about him.
so you got 8 kids. Why is Brandy your favorite daughter?
She's the oldest.
Yeah. She asked me. She did. I told her I was going to say that.
Yeah. That sounds like something she wouldn't say, but she would expect it.
Yeah.
What was it like working with Muhammad Ali?
Oh, it was wonderful, man. I'm so grateful he didn't fucking beat my head in, man, because he hit me 3 times and I wouldn't go down, you know. And meanwhile, John Norris, who was 300 pounds and built like a brick shit house, he was flying all over the ring, but I'd just take him and come on, hit me again right here, and, which pissed Bill Watts off. And when I got in the locker room, Bill Watts started chewing my ass, and Ali walked up and he looked at me and he shook my hand. He says, "You're a very smart young man." Because he understood, man.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to be there the next week. Ali wasn't.
True story.
I had to carry the load the next week, man, not Ali. So we had to save something.
Who owned the snake?
Well, there was about 60 different snakes.
Oh, there was. Okay.
Yeah. That's why they got bigger and smaller and changed colors. It's kind of weird.
Right.
Yeah, there was about 60 of them. There was a guy up in Connecticut that had them, man. And he was a real treat to work with, man. He was like, I don't know, a little bit like Charles Manson, you know, a really weird dude, man. Really weird dude. I know one night one night he flew to Omaha and brought me he had to fly on the road and bring me fresh snakes every 10 days. And he flew to Omaha to bring me one. And that day I was feeling terrible. And I thought, you know, I need to take this guy out and show him a good time sometime, you know? So that night I said, "Hey, man, you're going with me?" He goes, "Where to?" I'm like, "We're going to a strip joint, man." He goes, No, man, I just want to go back to the hotel room." I'm like, "What for?" He says, "So I can play with my snakes." I'm like, "We traded snakes. What's the deal?" He goes, No, I brought a couple of extra ones just to play with." I'm like, "Dude, you're a fucking freak, man." And so I said, "Well, we're going to the strip, get you laid. I'll pay for it. You pick a girl out and I'll pay up to $1,000 for it." He's like, no, man, I just want to go back to the room, man. I'm like, dude, I'm going to get you laid. He goes, Jake, I don't care about that. I'm like, oh, you got a girlfriend? He goes, I've never had a girlfriend. Now I'm like, wait a minute. You mean you don't like girls? No, I ain't that way, man. I just don't date, man. I just dig snakes. That's all I want to do. And I'm like, okay. So I took him back to his hotel room and let him out, and he got out, and I made the block and came back and went to the front desk, and I said, move me from my room. I don't want to be next door to that motherfucker, man. I don't know what's up with him, man. He was weird like that, man.
I was about to say, you also got a book coming out too, right?
Yeah, man.
And it's still coming out. Tell us a little bit about the book.
Man, the book is straight up truth, which is different than any other wrestling book. And it's all about me. It starts out in my early life, and we go all the way up to the time that I go into the WWE. That's the first book. The second book will take care of the WWE. But the first book has all the meat, man. If you want to really get into a good book, it talks about how I came up with things, how I learned things, how I experienced life, what the things in life did to me and how they changed me, you know, whether it be being molested or my grandfather being an alcoholic. We talk about all those things. And, you know, I wrote every page of this book, man. It's about 600. The first book's about 600 pages.
Okay.
What it did for me was it gave me hope. You know, I started out doing it and could barely do any of it, but I kept working at it each morning. And that's what got me off the drug thing, man, was that each morning I'd get up and work out and my body would release endorphins, which satisfied my brain, and I was able to continue through the day. And when I started losing weight and getting in shape, I saw hope again, you know, because when I started doing it, I was 309 pounds. And, you know, I lost 75 pounds doing it, man.
Wow.
But more importantly, I got sober.
Yeah.
You know, people don't understand it's, you know, drinking and drugs is more the residual effect of the problem. You know,
Right.
It's the problem that makes you crazy. It's the problem that makes you act. You know, the reason I smoked dope and drank was because I was trying to forget some shit, man.
Yeah.
I was trying to forget my early life. I was trying to forget the pain. I was trying to forget the death of my sister. I was trying to forget the death of my stepfather. You know, these were evil, you know, hard deaths to deal with. My sister was kidnapped and murdered, and my stepfather was electrocuted. So those were hard things to deal with. And I didn't deal with them. And when you don't deal with shit, it boils up on you and causes problems.
What was your favorite venue you ever performed at?
Probably Boston Garden, the old one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the size of the rats. They had rats in that building bigger than dogs, man. And these son of bitches were huge.
Yeah, in Canada we call those raccoons.
Yeah, well, they were bigger than raccoons, brother.
Can you bring us back?
I think in that building they used to chase the dogs, you know.
Oh, wow.
Can you bring us back to the Macho Man and Snake incident?
Well, the whole thing with the Macho Man thing was, brother, he had some doubt that the snake hadn't been fixed, you know, hadn't been devenomized. And he came to me in the locker room and expressed his concern and then told me that I had to let the snake bite me first or there was going to be a hell of a fight between him and I. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he was like, crazier things have happened in the WWF, brother. You know, you might be trying to get my Intercontinental Heavyweight title from me. I'm like, fuck you, man. But he was serious, and I had to let it bite me. And then after it bit me, he's like, sit still. Don't drink no elixirs. Don't drink no tablets. Don't drink no this. Don't drink none of that. Don't take a pill. No way. You know, he thought I was going to take some type of antidote. And then after about 15 minutes, he said, okay, we'll do it. And we did it. But when we got in the ring, I was still pretty upset about the whole thing, you know. And so when I got the snake out of the bag, I turned my back to him and I slapped the piss out of that snake. and that motherfucker fired up, brother. He was ready to chew. And of course, he bit Macho, man, but he would not let go. I pulled on him and pulled on him. I couldn't get him off of Macho, man. So Vince sent Piper to the ring to tell me to get the snake off of him. Well, Piper stood about 20 feet away because he's scared of snakes. Then Miss Elizabeth came down. Vince said, do it now, Jake. Still my favorite moment of all time.